Oh, the BBC are in huge trouble. You remember yesterday, a couple of days ago, we reported that there was a massive hack and a data breach at the heart of the BBC, as well as some other organizations like British Airways. But the BBC didn't really report on it about their own organization, which was a bit dodgy. But they sent out a personal statement to their own staff, which we reported saying your data may have been breached. We have now more information about what has been hacked. It's not too good, guys. It's not too good. The BBC reveals the extent of the data leak and some very sensitive private information, including people's addresses and national insurance number, has now been exposed. And yet, the BBC is still not reporting on it. It's okay. We're going to do it. So the emergency information for BBC staff, the latest information is now being updated today, the 7th of June. This is the information for people who work at the BBC and past employees of the BBC. So Zealous, the BBC payroll company software that they're using, they were hacked alongside, obviously, their main company, the supervisor, IBM. And this is the letter that they've sent out to their staff now. Dear all, following my note on Saturday the 3rd of June, here is a further update on the data breach and the work underway in response. On Friday the 2nd of June, we were informed by our supplier, IBM, that the contractor Zealous has been affected by a vulnerability in the third-party software users move it transfer provided by Progress Software. This led to a data breach affecting several organizations, including the BBC. The breach has been reported to the Commission, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we already reported on this. Now it says, our specialist teams have been working closely with our suppliers to understand more about the data that was disclosed and to identify the affected individuals. We can now confirm the following data was included: BBC ID number, title, first name, last name, date of birth, national insurance number, address line, BBC email address, BBC employment or engagement start date, and of course the end date. That is absolutely embarrassing. Now it says our information security team is monitoring internet activity closely. There is still no evidence that the data is being exploited. Furthermore, Zealous has confirmed that they have no evidence that bank account details have been compromised at this stage. BBC's systems have not been impacted, and you do not need to change your BBC password unless you will feel more comfortable to do so. And yeah, so that's and it says, to reassure you, BBC Payroll Services has confirmed that this will not affect any payment due in June. Actions to take, be vigilant, blah, blah, blah. As usual, they're saying everything is fine. It says, we would encourage you to have strong passwords on all important online services such as banking. Be cautious of any unsolicited and unexpected communications that ask for your personal information or refer you to a web page asking for personal information. Avoid responding to, clicking on links, or downloading attachments from suspicious email addresses. These are basic stuff that they should have been received trainings for it anyway. And it says, yeah, in next steps, we're going to do everything else. And Alan Dixon, Chief Financial Officer. What a shambles. Absolutely shambolic. So, but the issue is, they're not really reporting on this data breach that happened to them as well. Isn't it interesting? So they're sending out, obviously, the information to their own staff, but they're not really. Imagine if it was any other group, even if it was Sky News, they would be on top of it. They talked about British Airways, for example, but they're not really holding themselves to account, which is quite fascinating. But it's not just the BBC. Other channels are not really talking about it either. I wonder. Anyway, make sure to share this video. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.